service of CNC Worldwide.
The Daily is a service of CNC News and Jib Jab. Greetings, I'm Bud Lowell. Complete AccuWeather forecast right across the top of every CNC local news page and always updated. Officials of Rochester's Memorial Art Gallery were joined by local artists and contributors Wednesday to formally dedicate the gallery's Centennial Sculpture Park in Rochester. True to its name, the Centennial Sculpture Park helps to celebrate the museum's 100th anniversary. It links Rochester's Art Walk project and the neighborhood of the arts with the museum grounds. Serious development work started about 2 years ago. The park features commissioned works by sculptors including Tom Otterness, Wendell Castle, and Albert Paley. Paley's 25-foot stainless steel sculpture called Soliloquy was commissioned a year ago. It will be the final installation in time for the 100th anniversary celebration in October. Both Paley and Castle were awarded Eastman medals for their achievements. Police and county probation officers went door to door through a West Side Rochester neighborhood Wednesday after a gunman took shots at a pair of county probation department officers Tuesday night. Monroe County Executive Maggie Brooks says the two women had been performing a routine check on criminal offenders on J Street in Rochester when they were fired on by a man who walked up to their unmarked car. Neither officer was hurt. Both were back on the job the next morning. The Rochester Police Department is investigating the incident. Monroe County is offering every resource it has to help catch the suspect. Police Chief James Shepard noted that probation officers are unarmed and said, "We're going to find out who did it and go get them." Brooks says this is a reminder that probation officers put themselves at risk every day to help keep the peace. And County Executive Brooks delivers her annual State of the County address Thursday evening at 7. She'll be speaking this time from the Eastman Business Park in Rochester. We'll have an update on the next podcast. Here's a more positive note, or many notes. The historic Denzel Carousel at Ontario Beach Park in Charlotte opens for its 108th continuous season Friday, offering free rides to all comers, noon till 9 p.m. The Monroe County Parks Department does this the start of every Memorial Day weekend. Starting Saturday, it's $1 a ride or $5 for all day. The season goes through Columbus Day. The Ontario Beach Carousel is a menagerie model from the Philadelphia firm of G.A. Denzel, installed in 1905. It has 52 hand-carved riding animals ranging from horses to a tiger, through 2 world wars, and through every change in our community. The Denzel Carousel has never missed a season. The Rochester 17-year-old shot in the drive-by incident on Monday has been upgraded to satisfactory condition. Paris Bullock was standing in the front yard of a home on Danforth Street when someone drove around the corner and started shooting at them. The pregnant teen was hit in the upper body. The other person escaped injury. Police are still looking for information and are asking witnesses to come forward by calling 911. A Penfield man has pleaded guilty to federal narcotics charges in U.S. District Court in Rochester. According to the U.S. Attorney for Western New York, 42-year-old Alfredo Valentin Jr. admitted to possessing more than 1 kilogram of heroin with intent to distribute. Valentin, who also goes by Fred Valentin and Fred Vegas, agreed to plead guilty in order to avoid the maximum penalty, life in prison and a $20 million fine. Prosecutor Robert Marangola said Valentin was purchasing large amounts of heroin in New York City and transporting it back for trafficking in Rochester. He was arrested in January, driving a rental car and more than 130 kilograms of the drug on him. He'll be sentenced in September. 2 Rochester men have pleaded not guilty to federal gun and drug charges in U.S. District Court. Clive Hamilton of Rochester had permits for his 2 registered handguns. He also had marijuana in his car along with them when he was stopped last summer, and having both of those items together is a federal crime. The 30-year-old Hamilton was ordered to hand in his guns, and he could be looking at a 10-year prison term. 30-year-old Walter Porter had both heroin and a shotgun in his home when police searched it in January. He's charged with conspiracy to distribute drugs and possessing a gun and drugs at the same time. He's looking at 20 years for the drug trafficking and another 10 for the weapons violation. In Batavia, a 44-year-old Geneva man has pleaded not guilty to sexual abuse charges against a minor. Sean Vickers was arraigned Wednesday in Genesee County Court on a grand jury indictment charging him with a course of sexual conduct against a child. He was arrested for allegedly abusing a minor under the age of 13. The investigation into Sean Vickers also led to a federal charge against his brother, David Vickers, last week. The U.S. Attorney's Office says David Vickers took boys as young as 9 with him on his trips as a long-haul trucker and sexually abused them on the road. He was brought up on federal charges because the crimes took place across state lines and in Canada. The FBI asks anyone who has information about other potential victims of either of the Vickers brothers to call the agency or call 911. To the left of the player window, you'll find links to these and other stories. At the bottom of the page are links you can use to post news items directly to us. The next news is as it happens, updates are as necessary, and what you share via social media or our own site helps you to be the judge of that. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.